Yes, share, because sharing is caring. So share with them everything about this promotion of free learning, that they can come and join with us. Yes, share my screen. Just a moment. Lilith, can you give us a word of prayer before we start? It's early morning.
Pardon?
Would you give us a word of prayer before we start?
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Is that the prayer?
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and we forgive those who trespass against us.
Yes. Thank you, Lynette, for the prayer. So allow me share screen. Allow me share the screen. I believe you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, we are going to have social studies, and this is primary 5. I've told you my name is Teacher Jonah Byarugaba. I am a teacher of social studies and English language, and I work here at Yaaka. Last time, last time we were together, we discussed about people of East Africa or people of Uganda, and we singled out 2 ethnic groups. We talked about the Bantu and we talked about the River Lake Nilo-Hamites. Before that, we had also discussed the definition for ethnic group. We had also discussed what a tribe is, where the Bantu came from, and all that information that is needed. So for a quick revision, we are going to answer these questions as I ask them. We type the answers in our chat and we send right away. Question 1, what is an ethnic group? We type in the chat and we send. I am waiting. 2 minutes, 1 minute. What is an ethnic group? You type the answer in the chat and you send. What is an ethnic group? What is an ethnic group? Let me check whether there are no answers yet. Joshua, we have said you got to type your answer in the chat. You go to chat and you type your answer there. Kyra, you are welcome and good morning.
Remember, like you do it. Don't touch. Now you're giving. You were raised. Would
you unmute your microphone?
Have you unmuted the microphone? Mommy. Press here. Let's remove this.
Thank you, Lynette. Lynette has sent in her answer and everybody can read it. An ethnic group is a group of people with the same origin and speak related languages. That's great. I am proud of you. Joshua, what is your view? Joshua? Aliyah Buyinza, you're welcome and good morning. Yes, Joshua? Can see your hand is up. Okay. So that is the definition for an ethnic group. Okay. What about a tribe? Who can tell us what a tribe is? What is a tribe? You put the hand up and you tell us the answer. What is a tribe? We lost someone. Yes, Joshua. Yes, Joshua.
A tribe is a group of people with the same forefather or ancestors.
Is a group of people with the same forefathers or ancestors. This is a group of people with the same origin, forefathers or ancestors, and they speak the same language. They speak the same language. That is very, very important. Under ethnic group, we said they speak related languages. Here they speak the same languages. So we went ahead and looked at several ethnic groups, and that's Bantu and also the River Lake Nilotes. Today, we are going to talk about one other ethnic group, that is the Nilo-Hamites. What do we know about Nilo-Hamites? Is there anyone who knows anything about the Nilo-Hamites? If you know something about the Nilo-Hamites, you put the hand up and I will pick you to say it. Thank you. Nilo-Hamites. Is there anyone with any information about Nilo-Hamites? Okay, if we don't have anyone, then we dive into it very well. One, they are often referred to as plain Nilotes. So when they ask you when they ask you about Nilo-Hamites, just know they are also asking you about plain Nilotes. They are the same. Their other name is plain Nilotes, most especially here in Uganda. Said to have originated from the highlands of southern Ethiopia. Remember, the Bantu are said to have originated from Cameroon highlands from Adamawa highlands in Cameroon, or Cameroon highlands, whatever you want, you can call it. And then the River Lake Nilotes are said to have originated from Bahel Gazelle in South Sudan. Now these ones, the Nilo-Hamites, are said to have originated or to have migrated from the southern Ethiopia. Those highlands of southern Ethiopia. Then how did they enter Uganda? They entered Uganda through the northeastern part of the country. They entered Uganda through northeastern part of Uganda. That's how they migrated from there, from southeastern Ethiopia to Uganda. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So we go
Yes.
ahead. Is there anyone with a question about the Nilo-Hamites so far, as we have looked at them? Okay, if there are no questions, we go ahead. One thing you have to remember, they are the same as plain Nilotes. Number two, they are said to have migrated from southern Ethiopia. Number three, they entered Uganda through the northeastern part. Wow, that is very key. That is very important for you to remember. If you look at those people, you will find out that they migrated from the areas of Kotido. So let's go ahead and get more information about the Nilo-Hamites. One, they were cattle keepers. That was their economic activity. What was the main economic activity of the plain Nilotes or the Nilo-Hamites? They were cattle keepers. That will also help you answer questions. So they were grazing animals. Number two, or this is 5, they settled in Karamoja and Teso land. They settled in Karamoja and Teso land. That's where they settled. I tell you, name the ethnic group that settled in Karamoja and Teso land? You simply say the Nilo-Hamites. Next, they are in districts like Kotido, Napa, Kabong, Moroto, Kumi, Amuria, and Soroti. So such districts are occupied by the Nilo-Hamites. The Nilo-Hamites. They were nomadic pastoralists. They were nomadic pastoralists. What is the meaning of the word nomadic pastoralist? Who are nomadic pastoralists? I am waiting for answers from you. Is there anyone with information about who a nomadic pastoralist is? Yes, Lynette? Joshua? Okay. It seems we don't know who nomadic pastoralists are, but I believe you will not take so long before you find it in one of your papers that you're going to write. Nomadic pastoralists. Nomadic pastoralists these are cattle keepers. These are people who rear animals and move from one place to another in search of pasture and water for their animals. They actually move from one place to another in search of water and pasture for their animals. Those are nomadic pastoralists. Tribes under the Nilo-Hamites. Tribes under the Nilo-Hamites. Anyone with an idea? Yes, Lynette? Yes, Lynette.
Iteso.
Itesots. Yes, Joshua? Yes, Lynette, again?
Karimojong.
Kalimojong. So, anyone else? Alia, you have switched on your video, unfortunately. Thank you. Yes, Lynette?
Langi.
The Langi. Those Langi, we need to find more information about the Langi, and I believe by the next lesson we shall be having enough information to categorize them. So as the Lynette has said, we have the Itesots. The Itesots are under Nilo-Hamites. Do we have any Itesot on the call? Is there a person who is an Itesot on the call? If you're an Itesot, put your hand up. Raise hand. We don't have an Itesot. Maybe, okay. Maybe, is there anyone who is a Kalimojong? Kalimojong? No one. Is there anyone who is a Kumam? Okay. So when we say your tribe, you tell us. So we have the Itesots, we have the Kalimojong, we have the Kumam, we have the Dadoth. That is also a tribe under Nilo-Hamites. They are here in Uganda, even in Kenya. And we also have the Tepeth. So those are some of the tribes under Nilo-Hamites. You need to remember all these things because they will ask you, they can ask you in your class, name one tribe under the Nilo-Hamites or name one tribe under the River Lake Nilotes. So you can simply pick one of them. The other River Lake Nilotes, we have people like the Acholi, yes, the Arul, those ones are River Lake Nilotes or the Nilotics. We have the Pokot. The Pokot is also a tribe under the Nilo-Hamites or the plain Nilotes. So reasons for migration, for their migration. Why do you think the Nilo-Hamites had to migrate from southern Ethiopia to all the way to Uganda and to those areas where they settled? We are discussing. Yes, Joshua.
They were searching for pasture.
Beautiful answer, Joshua. Thank you so much. Any other answer? Yes, Lynette?
External and internal wars.
External and internal wars. Great, great answer. Great answer. Joshua, do you have any other answer?
Need of land with water.
Need of land with water. They needed land with water. That's good. Lynette, any other? Or
No.
Joshua? Okay. And then my friends, Shira, Samantha, Kello, you're quiet. Samantha, what happened? Samantha, can you hear us?
Yes.
You're not participating. We need to hear you. Alia, can you hear us?
Please.
Again?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Shira, can you hear us?
Yes.
Very good. I want you to give answers so that you can take part of of the lesson. Okay. So they were searching for water and pasture for their domestic animals, as it was said by Joshua. That is very important because they were cattle keepers. They needed water and pasture for their animals. Number two, there was scarcity of grazing land due to the nature of land where they lived. If you look at southern Ethiopia, it is a hilly place. It is not good for grazing animals. So there was scarcity of grazing land. So they decided to move away and look for favorable land that could support their economic activity of grazing animals. So if you look at Ethiopia, even up to now, it is a hilly area. So that's why they had to leave and find solace elsewhere. Next, presence of interclan and inter-ethnic conflicts. These or those conflicts forced them to migrate. They used to fight day and night, and if you are fighting all day, then it is better that you look for a safer place. This also forced the Nilo-Hamites to move from southern Ethiopia all the way to Uganda so that they can run away from these conflicts. There was an outbreak of cattle diseases which attacked their animals. I told you by then there were no things like vaccines or treatments or what. Every time an outbreak of a disease would come, they would resort to moving from that place and they find a place elsewhere. So these and others explain reasons as to why the Nilo-Hamites had to migrate from their cradleland, from their homeland to where they settled in Uganda and in other areas. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's beautiful. So let's look at the results of the migration of the Nilo-Hamites. When they migrated, what happened to the places where they settled? The results of the migration of the Nilo-Hamites. They will ask you, give one result of the migration of the Nilo-Hamites, or give one effect of the migration of the Nilo-Hamites. Sometimes they use the word impact, but all they want are the results for the migration. Is there anyone with an idea? I get to chat and we check. Anyone with an idea about the results for the migration of the Nilo-Hamites? Yes, Lynette.
They introduced cattle as a symbol of wealth.
They introduced cattle as a
symbol of wealth.
A symbol of
Wealth.
Wealth. They introduced cattle as a symbol of wealth. For us in our area, where I come from, a person is counted to be wealthy because of the number of cows they have. The more cows you have, the wealthier you are. So that was introduced by the Nilo-Hamites. Yes, Joshua?
They reduced number of people in their area they used to settle.
That is also a good idea. Thank you so much. Lynette, you seem to be having another idea.
They increased population in Uganda.
They increased the population in Uganda. Very good, very good. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for participating. And yes, Lynette, you seem to be having another. Okay. Shira, yes, Shira.
New culture was introduced.
Beautiful answer, Shira. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shira. That is a beautiful answer. Yes, so let's just take note of them as have been given. I don't know whether I captured all of them. There was population increase in areas where they settled. Let's take an example. Before the coming of Nilo-Hamites, Kotido as a district, one of the districts where they settled, maybe had 500 citizens staying there. And out of the blue, the Nilo-Hamites arrive And does the district remain with the same number of people?
No.
Certainly no. The number of people will increase. So that is what happened in the areas where the Nilo-Hamites settled. So if they ask you for one of the results, you can simply say there was population increase in the areas where they settled. That's one, as it has been put. And as Shira said, new cultures were introduced due to intermarriages. New cultures. There are do's and don'ts of the Nilo-Hamites that were not the same as those people who stayed there before the coming of Nilo-Hamites. So when the Nilo-Hamites came, they intermarried with other tribes, introducing their new cultures. So that's how culture has been evolving. Right now, you find a Muganda is married to an Itesot, and there is new culture cropping up. Not so Baganda, not so Itesot. The culture is in between. So that explains, the intermarriages explain the reason for new cultures. Then they became mixed farmers, yet they were purely pastoralists. You remember earlier we discussed the major economic activity of the Nilo-Hamites, and we said they were cattle keepers. But when they settled in these areas, they changed from being cattle keepers to being mixed farmers. Remember, mixed farming is the growing of crops and rearing of animals on the same piece of land. So where they used to grow crops and they became mixed farmers, that means they were growing crops and also rearing animals. So, and others, as they have been put by our friends Joshua, Lynette, and all of you. So, before we go any further, I want to allow you to ask questions because it is very important that we get to answer all your questions. If you have questions, any question, please put your hand up and ask. If you don't know how to raise your hand, it is also okay. Yes, Lynette. Yes, Lynette.
Why did they change? Why did they go to mixed farming?
Yes, very good question, Lynette. Anyone else with a question? Yes, Joshua.
Who are the Nilo-Hamites?
Again?
Who are the Nilo-Hamites?
Good question.
Nilo-Hamites.
Yes, Alia.
Are there negative effects of the migration?
Are there negative, let me take note. Are there negative effects of the migration? Yes, Shira.
I don't have any.
You don't have any question. Negative effects. Let me start with that one that was asked by Aliyah. Are there negative effects of the migration of the Nilo-Hamites? The answer is yes. One, they increase the pressure on land. That means where they settled, they found people had variety of land. They had big chunks of land, but when they came, there was pressure on land. Overpopulation happened in the places where they settled. And I certainly think overpopulation is not a good thing. And then culture. When you get new culture, that means you have to abandon your culture. And that is not so good. Okay. And then they even started fighting with the indigenous people, those people they found in those places. So the answer is yes, they were negative effects, and we have outlined them. Alia, does it make sense for you?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So we get to another question as it was asked by Joshua. Joshua asked about the people who are Nilo-Hamites. And that one takes us to one of the slides we had. That slide, let me look for it, is about tribes. Yeah, here. Tribes under Nilo-Hamites. One, we have the Itesots. The Itesots and Nilo-Hamites. We have the Kalimjon, Nilo-Hamites, the Kumam. We have the Dadoth, Tepeth, and Pokot. All those tribes, all those people are Nilo-Hamites. Joshua, does that answer your question?
Yes.
We get to Lynette, who asked why they changed from being cattle keepers to being mixed farmers. Lynette, if you settled in an area where there is fertile soil, even when you were cattle keeper, wouldn't you get an idea of growing crops?
Yes.
Definitely. So these people settled in fertile areas that had fertile land, and they were forced to start growing crops. And then number two, they also saw what the neighbors were doing. Okay, they copied from their neighbors and they started growing crops. That's how they changed from being cattle keepers to being mixed farmers. And number three, which is also very important, their cows were stolen by rustlers. You know what they call cattle rustlers? They are those people, tribes that specify in stealing cows, like the Maasai in Kenya. I don't know whether we have any Maasai here, but we have some hostile Maasais in Kenya who steal cows. So they used to come and steal their cows. So when they lost their cows, they said, hell, what? Why don't we start growing some crops? And that's how they also became mixed farmers. Does that answer your question, Lynette?
Yes.
Yes. Anyone else with a question before we move away? Any question regarding the Nilo-Hamites? Certainly no. Okay. We get to the last bit of what we are supposed to do today. Let me check out the time, because it is important that we follow the time. We have 17 minutes and we can use them to talk about one other ethnic group. That is the Hamites. The other ones were Nilo-Hamites. These ones are the Hamites. Yes, what do we know about the Hamites? Yes, Lynette? Yes, Lynette?
They entered Uganda from southwest.
They entered Uganda from southwest. Okay, that's good. What else? That is one. Yes, Joshua?
They are the smallest ethnic group in Uganda.
They are the smallest. Okay, that is also good. Good research. Yes, Joshua, still something else?
They were the first ethnic group to enter Uganda.
Are you sure? I don't have enough information about that. I don't know whether they were the first ethnic group to enter in Uganda, but certainly I know that the Bantu entered Uganda between 1400 to 1500 AD. And then I know that the Luo entered Uganda from South Sudan in around 1400 AD. For the Nilo-Hamites, I am not so sure of their time of arrival, but we can definitely debate and find the proper answer about that. Yes, they came to Uganda. They are okay. Let me first remove this. As Lynette said, they are believed to be two routes that these people used. If you look at the tribes under the Hamites. You will find that some tribes are in the far north and some tribes are in the far south. So there is belief that they might have used the two routes. So the first route is northeastern direction, northeastern direction, northeastern direction. Then they settled in areas of Capture and slopes of Mountain Elgon. There are some tribes of the Hamites that settled in the areas of Captura and the slopes of Mountain Elgon. Their main activity was cattle rearing, and they also grew some crops. The Hamites were organized in chiefdoms. So those are the some of the points that we can note about the Hamites. And these are the tribes under the Hamites. How we have the Wahima. Who can give us any other tribe, another tribe under the Hamites? Yes, Lynette?
Basita.
Basita, very good. Yes, Alia?
Batutsi.
Batusi, very good. Any other? Joshua? Okay. We have the Bahima, we have the Bahinda, we have the Basita, we have the Batusi, and we even have the Sabini. Sabini, S-A-B-I-N, Sabini. They are also under the Hamites. And we also have another tribe, yes, Sabini. The Sabini are also under Hamites. So it is very important that we get to know. Oh, why do you think the Hamites had to migrate from their places, from wherever they came from, to Uganda? Why do you think they had to leave their cradleland to come to Uganda? They also settled in southwestern Uganda. I don't want you to forget, like the Bahima and the Batusi settled in the southwestern Uganda and some parts of Rwanda. Yes, who can tell us some of the causes of their migration? Yes, Joshua?
Searching for pasture.
Yeah. Since they were cattle keepers. What about you, Lynette? Since they were cattle keepers, they really needed pasture for their animals. Yes, Joshua?
Need of land with water.
Need of land with water, because they were cattle keepers. You will find out that many of these causes are the same as those of the Nilo-Hamites. Let's summarize them here. They were searching for pasture and water for their animals. Number two, they were searching for areas with favorable climatic conditions. And then they had internal and external conflicts. Yes, and that marks the end of the Hamites. So, questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, yes, Joshua.
Are there positive effects of their migration?
Yes, definitely. There are some. Like the new breeds of cattle they introduced, that is really positive. The new crops they introduced, that is also positive. And there are other positive reasons, rather results of their migration. Yes, please.
I love Craig's smile that is not shaking at all.
Teacher, in your notes, the first answer you wrote was they were searching pasture and water for their animals. Is there a word missing?
How are you?
No, it is just a matter of grammar. If you want, you can say they were searching for, or they were searching water. You can search water, but if you want to have it, it is no problem. There is no problem. You can have it there. They were searching for pasture and water for their animals. It is okay. Okay. I want to end here, but before I end, I want to remind you that we are going to run these lessons for a couple of weeks. But one, you should learn to keep time. It is really, really important that you keep time. Don't want to be waiting for you for 10, 20 minutes. That would be cheating others who have come early. So when you read the timetable and you get to know that it's going to be this subject or the other subject, please set your computer early, set your books early, and revise. And then the other thing is that in case you need any help, just put in the group, WhatsApp group, and you will be helped instantly. We have our colleagues who are always working out to make sure that you get the help that you need that very time you need it. So remember, invite other people to come and join this class. Come and join. Come and join, because we need to have bigger classes. That's when the learning can go ahead very well. Yes, my name is Teacher Jonah, and I said I am a teacher of English language and social studies. I am always available in case you need anything. Remember, this is Yaaka.